So I'm in the garage, but as you can see, my civilian jacket is on and my working overalls are taking a rest today. And that's because today I won't be wrenching, but I still will be doing something really useful for this old rotten bike. And I'm picking up a new engine for it. Actually, a new old engine. For it, I managed to find a GPZ 900R engine locally. It's pretty much the same identical engine to the 750R engine with just a bit more cc, and the 900R is pretty much the same bike as the 750R, and once you swap the engine you basically have a 900R. And the owner of that engine sent me a pretty horrible video, but it was still useful because it showed me that that engine can make a full revolution, unlike my horrible rusty engine. It's around 250 kilometers away from where we are currently, so we're gonna go drive, we're gonna pick it up, and along the way I'm gonna tell you a bit about the history of the 900R while showing you some Bosnian roads and scenery. So why am I in the garage? I'm in the garage because I want to pick up this. And I want to pick up this. Oh, come on. So I can protect the interior of my iGo because I'm using the iGo to pick up the engine.
radiosarajevo.ba.
Servisne informacije.
8 sati 43 minuta, idemo dalje sa servisnim informacijama, naredna stiže iz...
Okay, so the Kawasaki GPZ 900R was revealed to the public in December of 1983. But its development started much earlier, actually 6 years earlier, and it was all done entirely in secret. The result was a truly iconic motorcycle that changed the meaning of the word sport bike forever. At that time, Kawasaki was looking for a replacement for its legendary Z1 motorcycle, and after experimenting with a bunch of different setups and ideas and options for the new Successor motorcycle, they settled for an inline 4-cylinder engine. But it wasn't just any old inline 4-cylinder engine, it was the world's first liquid-cooled dual overhead camshaft engine mounted to a motorcycle. The era of the air-cooled muscle bike was dead, and the GPZ 900R was the culprit. It changed what a sport bike is forever. The new engine was mounted very low in the frame as a stressed member. This enabled engineers and designers to remove the entire under-engine subframe and make the bike lighter and more narrow. This meant better aerodynamics and a lower center of gravity. Now this, coupled with the 115 horsepower of the engine, which was actually big power at the time, meant that the GPZ 900R was the first ever production motorcycle to break the 150 mph top speed barrier. It was capable of a top speed of 243 km/h or 151 mph. This of course made it the fastest production motorcycle at the time of its release. Only 6 months after it was unveiled to the public, Kawasaki entered 3 GPZ 900R into the Isle of Man production TT race. One of those bikes won first place, the other one won second, and I have no idea what happened with the third one. Another great feature of the engine is that the timing chain is on the side of the engine as opposed to it being in the middle. This made servicing a lot easier and the engine more narrow and compact. However, this servicing feature of the timing chain is actually completely neutered by the fact that replacing the starter clutch on the 900R means that you basically have to take the entire engine apart and split the cases, and it's a pretty big job. And these starter clutches on these bikes, they do tend to fail after the bikes age a bit. Now, unlike that revolutionary engine, the frame and suspension are pretty standard for the time. We have a steel frame and a telescopic fork with Kawasaki's anti-dive in the front and a unitrack in the rear. The anti-dive system on the front fork works and it's okay, but compared to modern suspension, it's honestly pretty obsolete. Another area where the 900R is obsolete compared to today's bikes is braking. Compared to modern bikes, it's also kinda heavy. It has a dry weight of 228 kilograms. This means that it definitely isn't beginner friendly. And I'm definitely a beginner. What am I doing here? This is something I wonder every day, but I really want to get this thing back on the road, so I guess I'll be careful or something. We'll see. Now, the GPZ 900R was supposed to be replaced by the 1000 RX in 1986, but the 900R was so good that it not only continued to be produced alongside the 1000 RX, it actually outlived it. The 1000 RX was replaced by the ZX-10 in 1988, but the 900R still continued all the way until 1993 in Europe, 1996 in USA, and 2003 in Japan. By the way, the Japanese really love their 900Rs. This bike is still very much alive there, and the modifications and attention to detail that some of the 900R builds have in Japan are simply incredible. As you probably know, the GPZ 900R is also a pop culture icon, thanks to the movie Top Gun, where Tom Cruise as Maverick rides the bike in several notable and memorable scenes. This is also where many people remember the bike from, and will usually recall it as the Top Gun bike. The GPZ 900R was even immortalized in the music of alternative rock legend Lou Reed. He owned a GPZ 900R and he really loved it. He even mentioned the bike in the lyrics of his song New Sensations from his album Legendary Hearts.
I took my GPZ out for a ride. The engine felt good between my thighs.
Now here's the rest of the lyrics because I can't play any more of the song because playing any more of it will probably give me a copyright strike and we don't want that. So all in all, this is a historically very important bike. Modern sports bikes owe a lot to the GPZ 900R. I personally really love its styling. It's different, it's very 80s, and it evokes all the right emotions for me. So I'm definitely having fun rebuilding this thing and I can't wait to have it in road-worthy condition. Now let's get back to the journey. By the way, the seller of the motorcycle engine told me that he is near a large town, but after I called him to get precise directions to where he is and where I'm supposed to pick up the engine, I realized that he's actually in the middle of nowhere. And when I say the middle of nowhere, I really mean it. We are just a couple of kilometers from the border with Croatia here, actually. By the way, this is the Herzegovina region of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and as you can see, it's much more Mediterranean looking than the continental heartland. Also, the climate is a lot nicer, honestly. It feels and smells like the seaside. Okay, the engine is loaded in and I'm one happy camper. I managed to get the engine, a set of 900R carburetors to go with it, and the plastic airbox intake plenum thing that I smashed on my bike. So all of this I got for 140 euros. So definitely a really nice score. I don't mind having driven to the middle of nowhere. The engine is dirty, but it looks to be in much better condition and it makes all the right sounds when you turn it over, unlike my rusted up horror engine. So what's coming up next? Actually, this Sunday there will be a video on the rebuild of these carburetors. I'm gonna rebuild them. I'm gonna give them a lot of TLC, and that's gonna be fun. I'm thinking actually about doing a no talking, no nothing, just ASMR style rebuild video. So stay tuned for that. That's going out this Sunday. So that's pretty much it for this little road trip to pick up a new old engine and other parts. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was fun watching. I hope you enjoyed a bit of Bosnian scenery. So as always, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll be seeing you soon with more fun and useful stuff on the D4A channel.